Social Darwinism is considered by many to evolve in a manner similar to biological organisms, resulting in the survival of the fittest. Social structures would leave the most capable individuals and institutions leading society, ostensibly leading to stronger social values. However, does the process of regulating these social constructs through government enforcement have negative impacts on future generations? Questions like these were posed by Herbert Spencer, an early influential English philosopher and sociologist who was an advocate of evolutionary theory. Criticisms of sociology as a science. Science, by definition, should not show bias or have preference. It should be value-free. Sociology is not. Durkheim alluded that it can be value-free when the hypothetical deductive method is strictly followed. Science is open to verification. Anything social is value-laden, so it is open to refutation, proving wrong due to different perspectives. This can lead to falsification and the beliefs that norms, values, ethics, and beliefs are rooted in science. Sociology can be objective through verification, induction, and deduction. However, falsification is required instead of verification. Critics argue that social Darwinism can justify inequality and neglect the needs of vulnerable populations. Let's consider a hypothetical scenario. A Tier 1 society, such as a hunter-gatherer or rudimentary agricultural community, has survived in a social climate for 20,000 years. Suppose part of their survival tactic involved a tradition where a man could publicly challenge another man for his wife. This challenge, if accepted, would involve the men taking turns punching each other in the temple until one either died or passed out. The winner would claim the wife. If sociologists were to introduce the idea that women should have a say, and the tribe accepted this new tradition, birth rates might drop and women might start challenging each other for men. This could result in increased female mortality and reduced tribal fitness. What role did sociology play in this scenario? Was its influence positive or negative? A popular author, Dr. Seuss, wrote a book titled The Sneetches about social strata. The Sneetches were yellow birds with distinguishing marks. Those with stars discriminated against those without stars, proclaiming them to be of lesser breeding. A man came to town with a machine that could put stars on the starless. Those without stars lined up to get one, making everyone equal. The original star-bearing Sneetches then began removing theirs, creating a cycle of star removal and printing until the Sneetches could no longer tell one from the other. In the end, the man who brought the machine left rich, having taken all their money. This story reflects American society and how groups and organizations have manipulated social equality movements to extract money from the majority while serving agendas that did little to benefit the minorities they claimed to represent. While there might have been legitimate studies advocating for marginalized groups, it was our culture's vulnerability and recognition of these groups that led us to change our behaviors. We were taught that, despite our tried and proven ways, they ultimately discriminate, and we should change, not the marginalized groups. A prime example of where sociology has been intentionally used to manipulate social structures was the 2017 repeal of net neutrality. The Federal Communications Commission lifted restrictions on internet providers, allowing content to be throttled based on payment or preference, creating an internet strata. Much like a utility, the internet has become a fundamental part of life. By revoking net neutrality protections, it allows for a form of economic and social stratification. People with more resources have clear advantages for influence, better access to services, and are able to reach larger populations. This shift has and will lead to greater social disparities, essentially enforcing social boundaries in a digital world. An extreme example of where this may lead is China's social credit system. It enforces behavioral norms by rewarding and punishing citizens based on their actions. It tracks your behaviors and will sanction actions such as late payments or spreading misinformation. Not towing the line can lead to restricted access to services and opportunities. Regarding, I reference the landmark case of King versus Smith, 1968, which involved providing financial support to marginalized groups based on the presence of a substitute father who did not provide financial support. Ethnic groups were allowed to receive SNAP benefits, including pregnant mothers of ethnic groups. While SNAP benefits are needed in times of crisis, we must recognize why a country so focused on sociological studies has not risen out of crisis since 1947. The implications of welfare, primarily brought on by World War II and the disruption of nuclear family constructs, contributing to the 3.5% required growth ratio for successful society models, are significant. Before these government services, marginalized groups struggled to rise above the status quo, motivated to climb the social ladder more quickly and in higher numbers. The implementation of social services has led many ethnic groups to stop attempting to rise above their current strata. Effectively, the United States are enablers. These patterns are observed and reflected in certain ethnic groups to this day. In short, the implication of social studies on general populations results in the complete stagnation of progressive ideologies. When applied, sociology becomes a tool for social retardation. With great power comes great responsibility.